Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Today we have Evan, and I'm so unprofessional, I don't know your surname. Desmarais?
Oh, no, it's not Greek.
Desmarais.
Say it French. French it up.
Desmarais?
Desmarais?
Desmarais? Say it again.
Desmarais. Evan Desmarais.
Okay.
It's Québécois. Yeah.
Ah, the whole like Canadian. Yeah, okay. I'm so ignorant of that part of the world and like the French. So you speak French?
Yeah. I know enough French to convince English people I'm fluent.
Yeah, English people. Yeah. We're talking British English or any English speaker?
Oh, I can convince anybody who doesn't speak French that I'm fluent in French.
Fuck yeah.
I know enough to like get by and chat, but not enough to like convince my grandmother the burqa's okay.
That's very good.
Yeah.
And so in Paris, or you've been to France obviously, and they just don't accept you at all?
Never been.
What?
I live in the UK and I've still not been to France.
Wow.
I've been to Germany, Estonia, Latvia, Spain, well, Catalonia.
I feel like I know what your type of woman is now.
What's my type of woman?
Well, either like the blondes or like sort of more Latina style.
Okay, well, first off, yeah. But I'm not very choosy.
Yeah, okay, but like you haven't. How long have you lived in the UK?
On and off for 5 years, but I got stuck here for 2 years during the pandemic.
Stuck in. Oh, so we are filming from Adelaide at the Adelaide Fringe.
Adelaide, Australia.
Oh, you did that very well.
Shut up. Quick, compliments? Is that what this podcast is?
Yeah.
Just what's your name? I'm just gonna dish some compliments.
Exactly.
I'll talk more about those feet though.
Yeah.
Can we get those feet on the podcast? We'll get so many more views. Have you, as podcast viewers, loyal listeners, loyal clip makers, check these out.
I'm genuinely embarrassed. They're not. They're just
How are
like
you embarrassed?
average.
Look at that. It's like it's crafted.
I think they're nice feet, but I don't. The thing is, I was saying before we started recording that I actually don't wear open-toe shoes much because I'm aware of foot fetishists, and I just don't need another thing to be self-conscious of. Like I rarely show cleavage. In summer, when it's above 28, I will wear short shorts, but like I like. My thighs, okay, but like I don't like exposing my body unless it's an environment where it's like sex club or beach. It's context, you know what I mean?
Not just in the street.
No.
Is it just you just want to avoid the male gaze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just too much energy to deal with it, and it makes me angry, and so I like to dress that in a way that I think I look attractive and it's flattering, but I'm not interested in exposing body parts because it's just extra concentrate. Like it requires too much awareness for me to feel okay.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I get it. It's like you're asking for it.
But it's just like, and the thing is, I should be like, I wish I could. Obviously, all women, like we wish we could just like go out and not be thinking about it. But it drains your energy and
it is, and it's terrifying.
Yeah. Well, it really just made me angry. Yeah, I don't know how to change the view.
It's okay. I just wanted to make sure that.
But everybody thinks that it stopped recording, and it's just that it doesn't. I get another person, everyone that thinks that the recording isn't working because of my view on Ableton. Plug Ableton. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Have you had partners, or have you experienced that sort of being looked at and being judged as a sexual object before?
All the time. Are you kidding me? People just look at me and they feel like they can just touch whatever they want.
You are very exposed. I mean, you are asking for it.
I do expose myself a lot. I find sometimes like gay men will get a little handsy, and because like I'm straight, but I'm kind of fluid, whatever.
Yeah.
They get a little touch, like not all, but like it's dudes. It's dudes are just kind of aggressive.
Yep. What have they done before?
Oh, I've had my butt grabbed, my dick grabbed.
They've grabbed the dick.
Oh yeah.
From behind or from the front or both?
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Everything.
Okay. I always like from the behind grab. That's always always impressive.
I have a story to tell you about that.
Please.
Oh, but also, okay, I was bartending in Melbourne, and this girl, she was hammered. I walk by, she grabs my butt, and I go, sorry, like, I don't like that. Like, that's sexual assault.
Yes.
And she starts crying, and she goes, my friend was sexual assaulted. You can't joke like that.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, how are you the victim in this?
Oh my God.
I'm working right now and I don't want to be groped.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. That was a thing that happened.
The level of
entitlement
and like and yeah, well, entitlement, but also just like miseducation, or just like how can you think that what you just did it like
It's
also
okay.
it drives me insane when someone does something, you name it, and then they're like, oh, but like I've seen someone else do that before to me, and it's like, this is not relevant.
yeah.
Like how base are your argumentative skills or argumentative skills?
How
Your
good are your
arguing skills?
pronunciations?
Oh,
Okay,
dude,
sorry about that.
I've been struggling. I'm so aware since coming to Adelaide that like my English has just been, it's like really been affected by speaking German and being around non-native English speakers. And then on top of that, like on stage, I'm feeling myself relaxing back into the Australian accent because I don't have to overpronounce things to make sure people understand.
Did you speak German before you went there?
No.
Oh, wow. And now you're fluent.
Now yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, I can speak. I can maintain my life in German, but I studied other languages. Like that was my education in Melbourne. I studied Italian and Japanese, and like yeah.
Go nano jugo.
Go nana jugo.
Isn't that like 5:45?
Go nana jugo. It's 5. Nana is 7.
Oh, 75.
Go nana jugo. That means 5.75. Yes.
Yeah. I was trying to give somebody change when I was a bartender in Toronto. And it was Japanese. I'm like, how do I say it? He goes, "Jo nano jugo." I'm like, all right, sick. I'm gonna remember that forever.
Go nana jugo. Yeah, that's very useful. Yeah, exactly. So I
Use it all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like me using Italian and Japanese all the time in Germany. Like this is why I started comedy, right? It didn't make any sense. So, but yeah, like also being an English teacher. So like in Germany, I changed how I speak so people can understand me. And obviously on stage, the way I write jokes and everything has been affected by the fact that I need the audience to understand me. So the way I'll pronounce things, my sentence structure, and the simplicity of like the writing. Whereas here, I can just fucking, anything can come out the way, I don't have to like sharpen the ends of words. I can just like, blah, blah. But yeah, still the structure from German is like deeply affecting how I communicate with people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's why like doing international comedy, kind of, it makes it less from the one place and more being able to talk to everybody else.
That's why, that's kind of one of my arguments around why I love being based in Berlin and like being able to like perform to those audiences, is that it makes the comedy this universal thing as opposed to this like deep locally referenced.
Yeah, because sometimes you go to like cities and you hear jokes like, oh man, that tram story is never gonna work anywhere else.
Yeah, and in Australia, like, and naturally the scene in Australia, it's expensive to leave Australia, so I think a lot of Australian comics are going to focus on being comics in Australia because it's expensive leaving, and then, you know, like, where's the industry? Where are you going? You got to go to the UK or the States.
Why would you leave?
And why would you? It's so beautiful
Paradise here. It's stunning.
Exactly. And so doing comedy on Australian stages, I always notice, I'm just like, I do not appear, like I am not going to give them what they want in terms of local fodder, you know, like I'm going to be doing something else, which is fine, but it's like, it's a different game.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Now, what were we talking? We were talking about you getting sexually assaulted by a woman in Melbourne. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then I got a story for you.
Yeah.
So you said the under the butt grab thing?
Yeah, like from behind, grabbing the penis. Yes.
Okay. College, I was seeing a lady, right? It was Halloween.
Which is just a few years ago.
No, this is probably what, like 15 years ago. God, longer than that.
Does it scare you when you say these? Like the other day, I said, my mum pointed something out. She's like, "Oh, but you were like this." She was saying something like, "Oh, you said you would never date that kind of person," and I was like, "That was 20 years ago, Mum," and I was like, "Fuck, that was 20 years." Like the fact that I can now say 20 years ago, and I was actually like pretty much an adult at that point.
Yeah.
20
No,
years.
it's scary.
It is scary,
stop.
isn't it?
Okay. Let's stop talking.
I realized I got married 10 years ago as I was on the plane. I was like, this is my wedding ring, my tattoo.
Uh-huh.
I also got, it was 4 years ago I got divorced, so.
Is that why the zipper is undone?
It was always undone.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like,
yeah.
okay.
No,
fair.
it should be closed, shouldn't it?
Is that who you married? Is that
No,
like
that's the god of the forest from Princess Mononoke.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. Yeah, for sure. And these are the...
Little spirits of the forest.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I still like everything in it. The zipper is really the wedding ring. He's got the zipper as well, except his little zip, the piece is sitting downwards and it's got a little Pentecostal star in it. That's the only difference.
Ah, fun. So you guys love Satan and stuff?
Oh yeah, we love Satan.
Yeah. Sick.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
fucking hardcore. Yeah.
That's how this story relates, right? One Halloween night, right? You know Old Hallows Eve, right? With all the ghouls and goblins. So we dress up, right? I don't know. I think I was like Adam Sandler from Happy Gilmore, right? Little Boston jersey, walking around with a sub and a golf.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like how Halloween dress ups for the rest of the world. Like for me, it's always like you got to dress up as something scary. Everyone else is just like dress up as something fun.
Yeah.
I never.
Oh, you went super scary?
I didn't really do it, but I never understood why people dress up as something fun. It's a scary thing.
Well, have you been to North America?
I guess everything's scary enough.
Sure. Yeah. Guns. Like,
Exactly. It's the only reason why I've got no interest in ever living there. Like I used to want to, and shit's just blowing up, and I'm not.
Hey, you go to certain places, you're fine.
I don't know. Like living in that society, I still think is extremely like ethically, like being in a country that majority of people want those guns. I don't want to live there.
You're a very hard person to tell a story to.
Please continue.
I'm trying to tell you the story.
I'm usually very focused, but I'm going with the tangents. Also, I haven't spoken to many people in the last few days.
It's okay. Want to just turn this off and have a chat? Like,
that's what we're doing.
Because I'm like, yeah, all right, adults only. Let's steer this in a direction.
So,
and you're like, guns. Let's talk about guns and how I hate America. Like, I'm Canada.
But I do that a bit. You know, but that's like, I thought we could bond on the hating of, not hating, I don't hate America, but like, I just like fear, very healthy fear. But anyway, so you were dressed up as Adam Sandler.
Have you been there before?
Yeah.
To America?
Yeah.
Where?
I was in New York for like 2 weeks.
You were afraid of guns in New York?
I was there 13 years ago. So
oh my God.
Things were a bit different.
Were you there September 10th, 2001?
No, that's not 10 years ago.
Huh?
That's not 10 years ago.
You said 13 years ago.
I did say 13 years ago. I was there in 2010. Is that 13 years ago? Yeah.
Oh, 23 years ago, bro.
Exactly. I was like, hold on, did I fuck up the math? No, you did. Okay, so
I forgot how old I was.
Were you there? No.
I was the second plane.
Okay. Why weren't you dressed up as that for Halloween? Okay.
The second plane?
Because it was before.
It was pre 9/11. Actually, no, it was post 9/11.
Okay.
And it was also Halloween.
And it was Halloween. And
Actually, you want to really piss somebody off? Dress up as Santa Claus for Halloween. People are livid.
Why?
Huh? Why dress up as Santa?
No, but
or
why are
people
people
upset?
livid?
It's the wrong holiday. People get so upset. I find it so funny.
It sounds like the perfect time to dress up as Santa.
It's the best time to dress up as Santa. But people, like, it triggers something in their brain. They go,
really?
It's the wrong time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. If I ever celebrate Halloween in North America, I am dressing up as Santa. Thank you very much.
Definitely, Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
It's the people who get like upset when Christmas music gets played before December. It's those people.
Is it the people that get upset seeing like Easter eggs in the supermarket like a month before?
Yeah.
Okay, these
so
people.
It's the idea of like, it's October 31st and you're dressed as Santa Claus. I'm not ready for this yet.
Yeah, it's I'm not ready for it. Okay.
It's like triggering. And like, I get it. Yo, Christmas is triggering for some people, right?
It is very triggering for some people.
Yeah.
Is it triggering for you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It triggers joy and happiness. And,
You
and
like
love and family.
Christmas?
I fucking love Christmas, bro.
It's
I dressed
such
up as Santa for Halloween. I love Christmas.
It's such an unpopular thing for so many people of our generation to like Christmas. Like, the number of people that are like, oh my God, you like Christmas? It's like, of course I fucking like
I
Christmas.
wouldn't understand why you'd like Christmas if fucking Santa had a surfboard. Like, I get it. You have shrimp on a Barbie around Christmas.
That's great as well.
Yeah, but you're not marketed to it in the same way that we're marketed to it.
I
right?
agree. I love Christmas in Europe, but I also loved Christmas in Australia. You know, it's a time for family. It's a time to like eat nice shit and to hang out and get some presents and give.
So that's my one thing is like, leaving overseas, I always make sure to go home for Christmas.
Okay, so my mum would love me to do that, and so would my brother, but I've decided...
Oh, do you not love your family?
That's what they think.
No, do you not love your parents?
I have gone
don't you
over
love your mom?
every time that they have paid for it.
Why is your dad not returning your emails?
Okay, my dad's a separate topic.
Should I get the chaise lounge?
Can we? I need to look back and stare at the ceiling as I go through this. But no, I love my family.
So how long have you guys not been chatting?
I love my family, and I was actually in Australia for Christmas year just gone by. But the thing is, and I sort of mentioned it before we started recording, that the reason I don't like coming for Christmas to Australia is because during that time of year, Melbourne doesn't have that many comedy shows going. Like they start closing down and they go for at least a break for like, everything winds down. Whereas in Berlin, everything is like fully like going. I can still be doing like 9 shows a week.
Yeah.
And going all the way to Australia, which is an expensive airfare, a long airfare, and requires a stay of a minimum of 3 weeks. I would much prefer to visit my family when I can do comedy. And actually stay here for a month and do all the shows and see my family on the weekends and during the days, and not just be sort of waiting around and hanging out while some of them go to work or whatever.
Of course.
So I kind of broke that
sense.
to my mother actually the other night on the phone, and she's like, "What do you mean you're never going to come back for Christmas?" I'm like, "I didn't say never, but if I can come for the Melbourne Comedy Festival every year, I can stay for a whole month. I can be working. I can be like feeling joy and satisfaction doing what I fucking love doing, and I get to see you guys. That's the perfect combination. Why come when it's more expensive at Christmas time, when I can hardly do comedy, and you guys get a bit of time off, but it's not as satisfying for me." So that is why.
Yeah, we're on different schedules for sure.
Yeah.
Doing this industry.
Exactly. So it's like, and this is why I'm here in Adelaide and why I'm going to Melbourne in a couple of weeks, is so that I can establish I come over for the festival, I'm able to do runs, I'm able to like jump on spots in other places, and I can, do my work in Australia and see family.
You know what you should do?
Tell me.
Throw Christmas.
Throw a Christmas dinner, that's cute. Well, we just did celebrate Christmas, but like maybe when I come back next year,
Like,
I can do that.
if you're not there for Christmas, just throw a you Christmas.
Yeah, I love it.
So be like, save presents,
An
get everybody
animus.
something. Yeah.
No, that's about me. I don't want it to be about me. But yeah, throw a Christmas dinner, exactly. Or a lunch. Like, guys, be like,
Get
this
like a little
Sunday,
tree.
yeah, we're gonna share presents, and it's a low key. Let's do it. I fucking love it.
So the first
Thank you,
year,
Evan.
No worries. The first year I missed Christmas from living out here. I sent home a 7-foot tall poster of myself.
7 foot.
Because like I was framed in it, so like
okay.
it was actually a little bit smaller than me, so it was about like 6 feet, whatever. But I sent it wearing the same outfit that I wore while FaceTiming with them. So when I said you can't open it, like you can't open your present until Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So they opened it as a family with my aunts, uncles, cousins. So they opened it and I hopped off the screen. I was like, I made it home for Christmas.
That's so cute.
And I was like, I'm gonna make my mom cry. It's gonna be so good. She's just gonna start bawling. And then she's not crying because she's surrounded by family, and I'm just alone in a kitchen in Australia, and I just start bawling on the screen. And I'm like, it's a filter. It's a filter.
You cutie. I don't know. How long have you been? How many years you said in the UK? 5 or 2?
Yeah. So I've been coming back and forth to Australia for like over a decade. Well, no, about a decade.
And your family's in Toronto? Or?
Montreal and Ottawa.
Montreal.
And
okay.
Toronto. Yeah.
And Toronto. Okay.
And Kelowna.
And where?
I
Kelowna is a place.
baby.
Okay.
It's in BC.
Kelowna. Okay. I have struggled, and my mum was surprised to hear this. I've been having good chats with my mum recently. I always have good chats with my mum. We're very close, and we talk regularly.
Oh yeah.
And
so why do you think you're closer with your mom than your father?
Oh, we can talk about my dad. We will get there, but I do want to hear about this Halloween story. So let's.
Oh no, we're over the Halloween story. Nobody's getting the Halloween story. If you want the Halloween story, you got to come and watch my podcast. It's called Evan Tells a Halloween Story Once, and that's the end of the podcast. Limited edition.
You should do that. Where am I going now? My mum was telling me. No, I was telling my mum, and she was surprised to hear this, that I have suffered. I'm no victim, but like I have had to deal with a lot of guilt living away from my family. And this was the first time she'd heard this. And I was like, this is not the first time. And this was like just last night. She was like, oh, I haven't heard you say this before. I'm like, well, I'm not sure, I guess, how I would frame it to them, because it sounds like, oh, poor me. But like, I'm not sure if I have really communicated it, but like a lot of guilt being away from my brother and his kids, and a lot of guilt being away from my parents. Admittedly, what helped was my parents moved to London like a year before I moved to Germany. And so that kind of helped me.
Are they
be
still
like,
in London?
No, they moved back just last year in November.
After the pandemic?
Year post.
Bro.
No, but they were there for 8 years, right? And then they
okay,
were like, oh, you know, the grandchildren, and you know, and it makes sense. And also, like, they're getting older. The weather's better here.
What do they do?
Family stuff. My stepdad does work for KPMG. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and my mum, yeah, cool.
I don't know.
It's
You just said letters to
It's
me.
just it's a auditing firm.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Love those people.
And he had like a good position in the UK, and yeah, and so they went over there doing that. And but my mum hasn't worked for a while because of her health, and so
Wow. So sorry.
she's all right. Well, it was scary during the pandemic, but anyway, she was surprised.
I know how close you are with your mother.
Exactly. It was scary. It was really scary. I think I actually saved her recently. She was going to go for like fifth booster, and she had a bit of a sniffle, and I was like, Mum, don't go and get it. You don't know if you have COVID. 2 days later, she tested positive for COVID, and if she had the booster while she had COVID,
That's double COVID.
that would have been bad. And she's got a chronic autoimmune disease, and so like that, like I was the one
chronic
that
AIDS?
chronic AIDS. She's got chronic autoimmune disorder.
She's got weed AIDS?
She's got. There are multiple sorts of autoimmune disorders, right?
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not just like
I know,
HIV, right?
I know.
Yeah, she's got rheumatoid arthritis,
Oh,
which is super fun.
isn't that bad for flying?
It's bad for everything, really.
Yeah, that sucks.
So anyway,
Does weed actually help, which is kind of fun, right?
oh, she would be terrible on weed, but
Yeah,
maybe
but
one
you
day
can just
she'll.
get like CBD and stuff, right? Because it's good for
She actually,
inflammation.
yeah, she had some CBD oil, and I was using it a lot when I was in London. But anyway, she was shocked that I talked about this thing of feeling guilty about being away from my family, and I was like, no, like this has been a real problem. Like I've had to do a lot of like forgiving myself, and I do things like I haven't sent home a poster of myself, but like I would send.
Not everybody can be the best child, all right?
Or like that ego-filled, but I.
Excuse me, all right? Want to know what I've got my dad for Christmas? A mug with my face on it. Because I'm not home. He needs to remember that I exist.
Yeah,
Keep me in the will cup, as I call
should
them.
do that for my father, actually. I think he wouldn't use it. We will talk about that a bit, but I really...
We don't need to talk about your dad, dude.
We can, though, but...
Tell me about Berlin sex clubs.
Yeah.
How do I get into the Berghain?
Berghain. How do you get into Berghain?
So I gotta...
You need to...
What if I went in blackface? Would they let me in?
Oh, please. Don't.
What up? Oh, please don't.
Don't.
Okay.
Black... Like, actually, the second...
I'm also not going to blackface.
The second time I went to Berghain, I went with a friend from Ghana, and like immediately in. They like black people. They don't like West Asian people. They're quite racist against West Asian people. But yeah,
okay.
and then I've been told that they're also racist against East Asian people. But I've seen a lot of East Asian people inside.
What's West Asian?
West Asians like not East Asian. So like India, Central
Asia.
Those are West Asian. Mm-hmm. No? Or West Asians like Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
I kind of, yeah, for
Like
me, East
Egyptian?
Asians like all of sort of East China, Korea, Thailand,
it's so weird,
Indonesia.
right? Like, if you're in the UK and you say Asian, you're talking about, in my head, like people from India and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where if you say Asia, like, oh yeah, they're Asian, in Canada or North America, you're essentially saying Vietnam, China, Japan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of like fucked me up. Because then if you call, anyway, every country has their own specific words that you can call people.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, but that's not, anyway. So
yeah, blackface
it was
could
October
help.
31st.
2000 and let me try and guess. You were in college, so what? Like
I'm not gonna do the math.
2008.
Sure.
Okay.
It was a good year. There's a blimp in the sky. Good year, blimp. So I was dressed up, and I think Adam Sandler, I don't know, it could have been something else.
Yeah.
And the lady who I was seeing, my date for the house party that we went to, was dressed as, I think it was like a Harley Quinn or something.
Cute.
Yeah, cute, classic, whatever. It's a basic. At the time, very popular.
I didn't know about Harlequin until the movie came out recently.
I think it was hard. It could have been something else. It was just one of like, the basic ones. Every year there's like a wave of everybody wears the same kind of outfit. So we were all at this house party, getting drunk, getting sauced up, having a lovely house party time. Picture like, and it was like a big one, right? I went to Humber College in Toronto, so like, I went for comedy school, which was fun.
Really?
And then
there's comedy school.
Yeah, we can get into that after. And then
Yes.
the jocks on campus were the golf management program kids.
Golf management
Yeah.
program.
So
Oh
usually if
my
you picture
God.
like jocks at college, you're thinking football, like American football, or
Yes,
basketball players.
yes.
Yeah, we had golfers.
You're making
so
me
a
think
bunch of polo shirts.
Caddyshack, like
Yeah.
those assholes. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, not Cad. Like yeah.
Well, there were the
but pretentious
wankers
ones.
within, Caddyshack. Yeah.
Not like the Bill Murrays.
No.
We were the Bill Murrays.
Yeah.
Because it would just be a bunch of golfers hanging out with comedians. Anyway, it was so fun. So we went over to one of their houses for a big party, and it was packed, people in the lawn, everything. So I'm drunk, and I go back in, and I see my girlfriend, and I pull the move, right? I do the under the butt, grab the vagina, like, and I go, and I slide it all, like I slide the whole thing.
Really get in there.
And she turns around, and it wasn't her.
Oh no.
But it was somebody wearing the same costume.
Oh.
And it was like a friend of mine's girlfriend. And I was like, oh, but I didn't know. I thought you were, from the back, you're the same.
Yeah.
And we were just in a predicament where we're all just looking at each other being like, well, how do we solve this?
Yeah.
And I'm chatting with him. He's like, I think I have to punch you? Yes. And I'm like, I get it. So we went out in the lawn and everybody's like, it felt like this ceremonial kind of like ritual where like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. I couldn't have just been like, I'm sorry, you understand why the mistake. He's like, I get it.
No, but there does need to be.
The honor.
Yeah, absolutely. Something like that, yeah. Or there could have been a non-violent thing where like she then, I don't know, where then your girlfriend grabbed his dick or something if
Or
she
like,
wanted to.
but then you can't just be like, well, now you're allowed to grab my girl. Like, it's not, there's no ownership of
No,
people.
but like then it'd be like to your girlfriend, be like, look, I fucked up. Maybe like, do you want to grab his dick or do you want to?
Yeah,
know what I mean?
but then, oh yeah, the girlfriend's fine with another lady just grabbing her partner's dick. Like that doesn't sound like a proper solution.
Yeah, no, it's not. But also, is punching really a proper solution? She should have punched you, not him.
She should have punched me. It should have been like one of those classic.
That's what it should have been.
How dare you? Just slap.
Slap.
you.
Yeah, I've always wanted to.
I love a good slap.
Okay, let's talk about that because I have been doing my solo, like it's only been like 2 runs that I've done it here, and I did it 3 times. Like I did it in Paris and Basel and then Zurich before I came over here, and
So international.
well, no, it's just like I needed to test out the marketing run. Okay, I hadn't marketed I didn't know how to market to audiences I didn't live in, so it's not a brag. It was like that was the little tour.
Bro, whatever. Flex. I get it.
And so anyway, and I think it's because I'm not really talking to that many people so far, and I'm a little bit more like quite sober, and I don't have people to fuck, and so I'm meditating a lot more on the solo hour that I've got.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. I was looking for some sympathy actually, and I'm going through. So it's sort of like it runs through 2020, and there's some like the different stories that happen and things, and I realized only this morning that I think the reason why I stopped removing my body hair in 2020 was actually because I had quite a traumatic. I remove it now. I still remove. Now I remove it still. But but there was a. I didn't realize that the reason why I actually stopped removing it was because of a dude that I fucked who fucked me up. Like I didn't realize that it was really because of my sexual experience with him. Now this guy had this amazing penis. Total fucking psycho. But
Usually the case. Great dick.
Dude.
Crazy mind.
Oh my God. I'm talking like monstrous, right?
What's monstrous?
Monstrous is like 30 centimeters and then like.
What's that in inches? Wait, what?
Yeah, and then like this wide.
That's not a dick.
That is a dick. That was his fucking dick. It was, okay, so for people at home, it's like a small apple in girth and then about 30 centimeters
That's not
long.
a small apple.
Okay, that's a medium apple.
Bro.
I know.
That's not good.
Like, it was actually. You need to you gotta have some strategies around it, but it was fun. But the first time we fucked, okay, like
That's not something you want to start a relationship with, though.
he wanted to start a relationship with me. He was.
Is that why he was psycho? And you're like, start a relationship with that? No, thank you. I like horseback riding, but not all the time.
But no, it was more the personality around it. But the thing is, first time we fucked, like he came over to my house, it was like bang, straight into it, amazing. Like he was eating my ass within like, no, there was lube. Dude, no.
Well, you said bang right into it.
Well, he didn't just use his dick, right? But
you can do other things.
he did other things. And so there was like, fucking in the hallway and in the kitchen and then fucking in my room. And then, a few hours later, or like maybe we fell asleep. And then when we woke up, fucking again. And and there'd been no conversation around kinks and around like stuff that we would do. He covered my mouth with one hand and he slapped me across the face with the other. Like when he covered my mouth, he covered my nostrils and my mouth so I couldn't breathe, and then he slapped my face super hard, and there'd be no conversation around that.
Yeah.
Now, I do actually like that kind of shit, but there needs to be the conversation. And that was super and like the thing is, like, I really love that kind of shit. Like, it has to be and it's so funny how much the consent and conversation changes it.
It's so weird because it's communication.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that really needs to be taught in school.
Yes.
Like within sex education, whatever. Talk about puberty, but talk about being open and discussing. Like, you go, oh, you shouldn't be telling kids that. No, that's exactly who you need to be telling kids that. You need to teach them about taxes. You need to teach them about consent.
Consent,
it's
taxes.
The two things still out of school.
And also, I think one of the biggest things is that's not taught that really would change a lot of things within that whole like education to move beyond gender inequality or like domestic abuse or violence against women is teaching people how and boys, but like teaching everybody how to communicate how they feel. Just teaching how to be like, to identify how you feel and then to be able to say it about. That would change so much, like, oh, actually, I don't feel good like with this, like, and oh, okay, okay.
Establishing boundaries.
Exactly, establishing boundaries, and also, if people were able to go, oh, I don't feel good, then maybe people wouldn't be just fucking hitting each other or shooting each other or raping each other, like.
If you're raping each other, is that not? I'm just checking. Seems like
raping each other. Let's rape each other. It's an interesting concept, isn't it?
I think it'd have to be like I'm sleeping, and then you like, surprise, your dick's in my mouth. I'm like,
oh, I'm sleeping. Yeah, I've definitely had relationships where I've done that.
Yeah.
No one called it rape. But there was a point in that which was talking about slapping, right? Slapping. Yeah. But this guy was crazy in that he then like within 2 dates he was like, so when are we gonna move in together?
Wow.
When you want to have kids? And I was like, well, we can have kids in like a year, but you're not moving in with me anytime soon. No. I was like, okay, he wants kids. He wants to move in with me already. And then like he would text me a lot. And then I remember one of the things he texted me one day was just like, you know what? Like these were his words. He was like, why don't I see you as a cheap whore?
Wow.
And I was like, sorry? Like, where does this come, like, out of nowhere? He was like, why don't I, and he was like, oh, I guess it's because you're, educated and beautiful. Like, he was trying to compliment me, but, like, that was how he started.
Sound like a compliment, though.
No, not at all. And then he also, the nail in the coffin was he said, like, after all these messages, way too much, he sent me, like, 8 scrolls worth
not good.
of suggestions for my jokes.
Red flag.
Which were all about him. And I was like, dude, I could put up with so much for that penis, but you've crossed the line.
Narcissistic.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Is that the biggest dick you've ever been with, though?
I've been with a few big ones. He's like, I think there's like when I was 21, I took this guy to like the Australian prom, and
the Australian prom.
Yeah, the formal.
Yeah.
And he was this little white guy, and he had Yeah, like it was 1, 2, 3. Like it was that.
God damn
and
it.
also like I could barely close my hand around it. Yeah, so that was Steve. I forgot his name and I just remembered it. Big, huh? And then there's been a couple of others. There was a Spanish guy that was very big, and then crazy guy that I just mentioned, and then those were I think the top 3. I've probably forgotten a couple.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten like nice compliments, being like, "Oh, it's perfect, like just right."
That's good. That's good. I don't know. Like as a woman, it's like it's always nice when a guy's like, "Fuck, that's tight," and it's like how. Someone just walked as I said that and I made eye contact with them.
Yeah.
It's nice when a guy's like, fuck, that's tight, but it's like, like, you don't have to say anything. Like, depends on the moment and the month. Like,
Well, yeah, especially with that guy, I think everything's tight.
Oh, it wasn't him that said that.
Oh, okay.
I like it when like an average dude says that, and I'm like, yeah.
Sick.
Sick.
Like, I guess it is such a complex because it's been like so socialized into us. We're like, yeah, we need a tight pussy.
Yeah, it's almost like
Wait, hold
my
on.
my dick can be huge if you're tight. You know.
How did he give you a complex on the body hair though?
Oh yeah, so when we first fucked, he was like, "Oh, I'm surprised you're not fully shaved," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't really like. I work at a kindergarten. Like, I don't like being fully shaved because that feels wrong." And he was like, "Oh, well, I'd like to see you fully shaved," and I was like, "Okay," and I let it sink in. I was like, "It's been a while since I've done it," so I removed everything, and then I hated it. And then we fucked, and then all this shit happened with him, and I sort of ended
why did I
things.
let that guy get in my head?
And then I was left with this like bald pussy, and I was like, and I just became more and more like grossed out, and I think I sort of went through a bit of like a rejection of men and feeling like quiet, because this guy then kind of stalked me a little bit. He kept coming to my shows and like standing at the front.
Oh,
and yeah.
You try to leave, he puts his dick in the way.
I just trip over it. Yeah, so I didn't realize that was quite connected. I didn't realize it was quite as connected. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of like emotional processing since I've been here, which is wonderful.
No, as you should. And like I don't. If I'm in love with somebody, right? If I have a partner, I don't care about body hair. I think this is like, oh yeah. I love you for you, and it's such a deep connection. But if it's like, I've been in a situation where I had like a drunken hookup with somebody. And we were like fooling around, and I was like touching their legs. I'm like, oh, that's like really thick leg hair. And it's
I don't know why I find that
fine.
funny. Yeah.
Like but in my head, I was like, oh, because I don't know you as a person just yet. I know you from what we have, this just drunk physical attraction. And in my head, I'm like, this is sexy. I like this. And then like, it's the armpit hair, obviously, everything, and then everything. But like in my head, I'm trying to convince myself this is sexy, but I couldn't convince everything to think that it was sexy.
Well, there's
Because it just put me too much in my head.
There's a lot. The thing is, there's so much like put out there on us to like. And as a woman growing out all my body hair, I really struggled to find myself attractive when I was doing it, and I had to do a lot of work to be like, no, this is. And it was like trying to accept all of me and be like, all of me is beautiful, and this is also beautiful. Now, the thing is with my like.
Get those feet out again.
Get those feet out. But like my leg hair and everything grew out. It was very comical. Like all my leg hair, like all my body hair grows straight.
Okay.
And so that's like it's in my solo. It's just like finding out that everything grows straight, and like it's not like huge amounts of it. Although, yeah, there was like the pubic hair was insanely straight and long, and like it doesn't like curl up at all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so I actually experienced a lot of rejection from my body. Like I would, like be out and like I remember a friend of a friend, like he had dreadlocks, worked at a cafe, and I saw him one day and we're chatting, and I lifted up my arm and he saw my armpit hair, and like his face just turned to disgust. And like
That
the
sucks.
number of people, like I went to Italy actually on a holiday in 2020 with like fully hairy, and like the looks I'd get for like my leg hair, and like it wasn't like it was like you could still see the color of my skin, and like it wasn't like it was a massive thick hair, but it was like
Yeah, I genuinely, from the deep bottom parts of my heart, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's so stupid that you guys have to wear makeup all the time. Like, I think that's such a horrible thing that's ingrained and should be out of society. But yeah, I just wasn't used to it and I wasn't expecting it. Like, her hair was as thick as mine.
Yeah. That's like it's a lot for a woman and to deal with that, and I don't know. Like it was a real fight for me for a long time.
Even me, I trim my armpit hair.
Yeah, I know digital trim. Yeah,
I keep everything super tight.
Well, that's the thing. Like, and it got to the point where I got rejected by a few dudes for it, and I assume it was for it. I was like, can't be my personality, and and then I was just like, fuck it. I'm sick of being judged by people whose intelligence I don't respect. So it's like I'm not gonna give them this thing that they can judge me like for, and but also like when I removed all my pussy hair, it was like, I can see her again, like, oh, she's pretty, and I actually like being able to see it, and also like with all the like it's I do prefer being trimmed there, and it's all just like
I couldn't imagine anybody putting my balls in their mouth with hairy
now,
balls.
Now on that though,
do you like a hairy ball?
I love a hairy wet mess in my mouth. Yeah. I actually really like a dude that like all options are fine, but I am very happy to suck completely hairy balls. The whole area just becoming this like wet, tangled mess. I'm eating a hairy ass, totally fine with it. Down for it. I like back hair. I like all the hair on a man. I love hairy men.
I guess for me, I don't think I would want hairy balls in my mouth. So
Have you had any balls in your mouth?
No.
They're fun though.
I assume it's like doing the rolling of the meditation balls.
Yeah,
but
totally.
Like,
in your mouth. Yeah. And it's interesting. It's like I'd love to have balls for a day so I could know what it feels like to have them sucked. But I can imagine.
Having them sucked, lovely.
Right.
I
know.
Ventures south of just the shaft. I'm like, yo, go have fun down there. Thank you.
I think right next to like learning how to communicate your feelings should also be
learning how to eat ass.
Ball play and nipple play. That's not educated enough. Like
no, nipple play's not.
It's not educated enough.
Like people aren't doing it properly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every human ever goes, nipples, sick. I know what to do. Treat it like a baby.
Yeah, but that's also not like I think a lot of dudes.
So you don't like that.
No. Okay. Unless that baby's
cool. Write that down as a note.
Unless that baby has teeth.
Okay.
Yeah, like nipples can take a lot. Like women's nipples are made to be destroyed by babies. Like they, and so we have like a very high pain threshold in that area, and so. Like go to town, boys. Go to town, and it's
but
the opposite
also
of
communicate first before you bite my nipple.
Yeah, like check in on the pressure. Like with everything on the body that's erogenous, check in on the pressure and the
I know somebody who really enjoyed spanking, and then I'm like, all right, sweet, let's go. And then they're like, no, too much. Like, you don't do that. And then we just had to sit, and we had to like hold each other. I'm like, don't worry, baby girl.
It can't. Yeah. I like spanking, but like it gets to a point where it's like I've got a friend who's got like this like big geisha fan, and he's and that shit. Woof. Like I can only take a few minutes of that, and then it's like
I just find it. There's no specific one thing that I like all the time. I feel with different partners, I connect sexually on a different level with them.
I agree.
And I think it's so special. Some people like I just wherever, anytime, I just want to be just as much inside of that person that I want like our skin to just fucking merge osmosisly and just fucking make one giant like Station from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Station. Ooh. What's that? No, I don't know the reference. I know Bill and Ted's. Oh, is this the new one?
No, the sequel.
The sequel?
The second one. You know those two blobs and then they jumped together and they made one giant guy?
Oh, yeah.
Station.
I need to rewatch that. That's very, very hazy in my memory. Okay.
Sorry, I thought based on your age that you would understand my reference.
I haven't rewatched it for, like, I think I haven't
It's
ever
one of my
rewatched
favorite
it.
movies.
Yeah, I loved them, but it's been since I was a child. But Beat Station, yeah, fuck yeah. I think you have a different, well, I have a different sexual dynamic with, like, it's like you become a different station with every yeah, like, and I don't know, how do you feel in terms of, like, have you tried non-monogamy? Are you someone that likes to just be with one partner?
I really want to do more monogamy in my life. Because like I travel so much and it's hard to kind of...
You want to do more monogamy in your life because you travel so much?
No, because I've traveled so much,
because
I've not done much of it.
Okay, there we go.
I've had like really great, passionate like connections with people, but it's also so fleeting, and like I've had really good friends out of it.
Yeah.
Where it's like just gone from like, oh, what this was it's more friendship.
Yeah.
And like, I actually find some of my closest female friends are people who I've had sex with, and then it's like, oh yeah, but we realize that that's not for us. This is what it is. And then I find I can actually get so much closer with them because that's out of the way.
Yep.
We've done that. We've had that experience. We know that that's not for us. Now we've gotten that gone. There's no sexual tension. There's no nothing. It's just buddies.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. I think guys should be able to fuck more. Each other.
Guys should
Maybe
be able to
they'll
fuck each other more.
they'll-
Maybe there'd be less violence, so dudes could just be like, all right, just turn over, and let's get this done. So much tension here. I don't know though, like, I don't feel the same with my female friends. Like, I have had sex
Yeah, I
with
also don't feel the same.
lots of my female friends, but, well, I've had sex with quite a few of them, but my newer, like, I don't know, in Berlin I haven't fucked that many of my female friends. It takes a special kind of woman for me to want to fuck, and usually it's first a certain level of alcohol. But
more one-on-one or in like group scenarios?
it's usually group scenarios, but it's been one-on-one as well. But yeah, I'm not like, it takes a special woman for me to be actually like, want to fuck her, you know? Whereas like, I'm much more open to fuck various different types of men. Like, I don't have to be so like, this one. You know, like, to me, I could be attracted to lots of men, whereas women, it's like 1 in 5,000. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What does it for you?
Oof. The first thing that comes into my mind is, it sounds like it's a fetish, but it's not. It just happens to be that I'm often attracted to East Asian nationalities.
With them nice feet, though? With those bound feet? That's exactly what it is. So you like feet?
No, it's not the feet. But yeah, it's I've often been attracted to like there's been a few Indonesian women I've been really into. Japanese. I'm trying to think if there was some other ones, but yeah. But also, it's like, I think maybe what's in that is that, like, if a woman looks similar to me, she's not, I don't know, like, there needs to be some kind of difference in how we appear. I don't know, like, I also feel like there aren't many women who I don't sort of just see as a sister or a friend. Like the power dynamic is something that...
So do you look at them as more submissive and then you take more control and power? Like, you like to fall into that?
I think maybe, or it's just more like it could switch. Like, they could also be more, I'm more submissive. I don't know. It depends. But it's more like, there's a difference there.
Yeah. I think that's a fun thing to play with.
Yeah. There was one woman at a show once who was like, this blonde woman from I don't know where, maybe Eastern Europe, and I was just super attracted to her, like to the point where I was like fantasizing about pushing her into the bathroom, but she had a boyfriend with her, and like, but I was like, it was another one of those like bizarre attractions, but like they happen very seldom. Like
That's gotta feel so good when that happens, though.
when I push someone into the bathroom. Do you fuck in toilets often?
It's been a hot minute, but yeah. You talked about eating ass.
Oh, eating us in a toilet? Oh no.
Hold up. It was one of my favorites. So this is like fucking years ago, maybe a decade ago. I was working at this bar in Toronto, right? We had a little bit of a lock-in, right? Little after hours. We're all like drinking whatever upstairs, and then there's one woman who I'd never met before. She worked at like a different bar, but she was like in the group, and she was kind of like holding court. She was like talking shit to like everybody. And I'm like, oh man, I love this girl's vibe. And I'm like, oh, I think you're really funny. And she goes, well, then why don't you eat my ass? And I died. I'm like, I'm in love with this woman.
Yes.
So then like about like a week or two later,
That's such a great call. Like that's the best response to that.
it was perfect.
Yeah.
So I saw her about a week or two later at a bar. It's called the Berghain Sex Club.
Bovine Sex Club.
It's not a real sex club. It's just called that. It's,
What a
It's a
name.
great like music venue. Like it's fucking in the heart of Toronto. It's just an establishment. So I was there and I was like, oh, hey, I don't know if you remember me. Like I was at that thing. She's like, oh yeah, I think so. I'm like, I said you were funny. You're like, oh, you shoot my ass. I'm like, she's like, oh my god, I can't believe I said that. I'm like, yeah, no, that was the best. And then she goes, so do you want me to eat my ass? And I'm like, yeah. So then we went to the bathroom. We go into the women's bathroom, and I just start like eating her ass in the toilet. And then like obviously like we're fooling around and having fun. And then the security guards come in because people complained about us, and they go to like kick us out of the bar. And then she's like, I'm like, okay, yeah, fair enough. We're leaving. She's like, this is called the Bovine Sex Club. Like, tell me what this bar's called. It's called the Sex Club. I should be able to have my ass eaten.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. She's so cool. What's her name? Can we just give a first name to her to like honor her? Because that's fucking so. Okay, you're from Toronto. Yeah.
Well,
it's not
because
you're
like,
traveling.
we ended up going to a different bar and drinking more, and then she got too drunk, and then she came back to my place and wanted to fuck, and I'm like, oh, I'm not comfortable with this level of intoxication.
Oh, she was super drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great story, though. I ruled out. We should probably wrap up soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna open up. Yeah, I ruled out having sex in toilets a while ago, but I've re-embraced it. I'm not saying like I'm open for business, everyone, but like I don't know. They can be like the right moment, right situation.
Alcohol helps with that, but
I've been doing it sober, man.
that's rough.
No, it's
It's
good.
like what, at the Y? Like
At the what? Why?
the YMCA?
Oh, the wine? No. I like
at the gym?
I like nice bars.
Okay.
I'll be drinking an alcohol-free beer with someone, and I'll be like, let's go.
Okay.
Or we both go to the bathroom at the same time, you know, washing our hands, and then, or they just fucking knock on my door, and I'm like, get in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty hot.
Yeah, definitely. All right, any last things? I feel like we could talk for a lot longer, but like, any last things, or
I'm good.
we did the full Halloween story.
I'll come to Berlin.
Fuck yeah, come to Berlin. Plug your shit. Where can people find you?
At Evan Comedy on everything.
Evan Comedy.
Yeah.
There wasn't and everything.
Should I pronounce comedy?
Yeah. Someone had a go at you for your accent the other day on stage. That was your response to it was quite interesting.
Oh, what did I say?
You were like, "How dare you make fun of my accent?"
Oh, I got really upset.
You got a little upset, and I was like, "Ooh, this is interesting."
I think maybe I was flyering the other day, and it's like, oh, come to my show. And then somebody was like, not with that accent. And I'm like, cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Straight. That's definitely it was an Australian saying that, right?
Yeah.
I don't get that shit. I do not. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. That has been Adults Only Comedy Berlin, but we're in Adelaide. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye.